Guys, how's it going? It's Janie over here at Janie Sweets, and in this episode I'm coming at you with a tutorial on how I made this floral wedding cake. So if you want to learn how I made it, keep on watching. So to begin, I have a 10-inch vanilla cake, and I'm going to drench it with simple syrup and then make a dam with my vanilla buttercream. Then I'm going to add in the middle my dulce de leche buttercream, and that's just adding either caramel or dulce de leche to my regular buttercream and then mixing it on low until everything is mixed together. Then I'm going to add the second layer and then the third layer and then repeat the same process until I am satisfied with how the cake looks. Now this is a trick that I learned whenever I am making a cake and the sides are not completely flat. I like to just take my serrated knife and then cut everything so that it's flush and completely up and down. Then I'm going to use my dulce de leche buttercream and I'm going to crumb coat the entire cake. Using my bench scraper and my offset spatula, I'm going to make everything smooth and then place it into the refrigerator to set for a little bit. I'm then going to start on my 6-inch cake. Using the same method, I'm going to dam the outside with vanilla buttercream and then fill the inside with my dulce de leche buttercream. I'm also going to crumb coat the entire cake with the same dulce de leche buttercream and then pop it into the refrigerator to set once I'm done. Now the middle tier is an 8-inch chocolate cake, and I'm going to do the same thing and dam the outside with vanilla buttercream, but the middle is going to be raspberry puree. Raspberry buttercream. If you guys have seen my raspberry white chocolate raspberry cake, this is the same buttercream that I'm using. I'm going to link the video that I'm talking about in the description box so that you can follow along. Once I'm done, I'm using a Wilton tip, and this is an icing tip. It's just going to make sure that I have an even layer of icing all around my cake, and I like doing this whenever I am decorating a cake that's only going to have buttercream and no fondant on top of it. I will leave a link below to where you can purchase that tip. I did the same thing to all of my tiers, put them in the fridge to set for a little bit, and then I'm going to dowel my bottom tier and then add my middle tier to it. And a trick that I like to do whenever I am using buttercream on a cake, I like to put a parchment paper before I put the top cake on top so that when you remove it, it does not remove the entire layer of buttercream. Now I'm going to put a dowel right in the middle through all of the boards in the middle of the second tier and the third tier so that the cake doesn't move around on me. Once I'm done, I'm going to use a ribbon to put at the bottom of each tier. I'm using a navy blue ribbon, but you can use whatever color you prefer. It'll stick right onto the buttercream. Just be careful when you're placing it on the middle and the top tier because you can remove the buttercream from the other tiers. So be very, very careful and gentle with it, and then cut off the excess with your scissors. Now you want to make sure that every single ribbon starts and ends at the same place so that you have just one seam going down the cake so that you can make it at the back of the cake. Now I'm using a round Wilton tip. I'm going to just pipe just like a line at the bottom just to make it a little bit more neat so that the board does not show. And then for the fun part, I'm just making S shapes all over the cake. I'm using buttercream, but you can also use royal icing if you want to make it a little bit neater. I didn't really mind how neat or not neat it looked. I wanted it to look a little bit more organic. So you just go around and make S's and C's all over the entire cake until you're happy with how it looks. Now I did the same thing for the bottom tier, and as you can see, I'm just making S's and then going afterwards and then making C's so that it's attached to the S and they just kind of look like scrolls. Now it's very easy to get intimidated with this design, but honestly it really does not have to be perfect. You just kind of go with your imagination and continue making that S&C motion that I'm talking about until the entire cake is filled with the swirls. Now moving on to the flowers. Now to add fresh flowers to your cake, I'm just using these pink flowers that I found at my local grocery store. I'm going to use a wire, like a floral wire, and then just kind of pierce it through. Twist the wire together, and then using floral tape, I'm going to completely cover the wire so that the wire does not touch the actual cake. So the tape is what's going to be touching the cake. I don't know if that makes sense. But anyway, go ahead and start sticking your flowers all over the cake until you're happy with how it looks. Now make sure that when you are using your flowers that there's no dirt on them, there's no little bugs on them, because they are, you know, grown from the earth and you can definitely find animals or dirt in there. So make sure that it's completely clean and safe to touch the cake. Now once you're done, I also have some baby's breath that I'm going to add all over, just randomly in some spots, just to add like a little bit of a contrast to the pink flowers. And then just do your best to make it look pretty. That is completely up to you, wherever you want to place your flowers. So once you're done, this is what the final cake will look like. You can definitely make this taller, shorter, interchange the flowers, put less flowers, more flowers, different colors. You can also change the color of the ribbon, but I do hope that this tutorial was helpful and that you could learn how to make the base of the cake. So if you like this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and families, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can check out my last video if you click on this annotation to your left. I am on Instagram as well as on Facebook. All of my socials are at Janie Sweets. Subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss out on any of my future videos. That is it for this week's tutorial, guys. I love you. I'll talk to you next time.